All right, this episode of America's Hometown Horror is brought to you yet again by Shine Through Window Cleaning. Shine Through Window Cleaning, in case you haven't heard, is a family-owned and operated company that proudly serves America's hometown and the surrounding area. They treat your home or business like they would treat their own, and they truly believe in building their reputation on every job they do. Get in touch with Shine Through today to discuss your window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and power washing needs at 781-812-9189. That's 781-812-9189. Or at shinethroughwindowcleaning.com. That's Shine, T-H-R-U, window cleaning, Shine Through Window Cleaning. And we are getting into prime gutter cleaning season, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Those leaves are about to fall, so call Shine Through today. Do yourself a favor. What is up? What's going on, folks? This is Mike from America's Hometown Horror. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the show. Hope all is going well for everybody out there. And again, thanks for listening. I am joined as always by my co-hosts Andrew and Kat. Guys, what is going on?
I am just ready to raise some hell.
I can tell that you are raring to go for this one.
I was ready to say that. I was like, I've been saving that for weeks.
I know. And when our guest, who we have in studio tonight, picked this movie, I could see your eyes light up, and I knew this was going to be such an Andrew episode, and you were ready to go.
I was like, as soon as we picked this, I was like, I bet you Kat hates this movie.
I don't hate it.
It seems like the type of movie that you don't like.
Hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. There's going to be lots
I'm
of time.
shocked.
Lots of time for opinions to be flying around here tonight.
Okay.
But I digress. I should introduce our guest, who, as I mentioned, is in studio here with us tonight, and that is Hanna from our friends over at Old Colony Cast. Hanna, what's going on?
Hello, how are you?
Doing very well. Thanks so much for hopping on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I know we had a great time in October doing our two-part episode down from the old jail.
Yeah,
good times.
That was thrilling.
Yeah, I know. Very, very spooky stuff. So I guess obviously we're very familiar with your show. We're on the same podcast network, Inebriart. For those who may not be familiar with Old Colony Cast, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
So we talk about Plymouth and all things Plymouth, not the Facebook page, just all things having to do with Plymouth. When they first told me about the podcast, I thought it was like about that Facebook page. I was like, what? That's weird. Man.
Now, see, I actually think that might be an interesting podcast.
Which we
to
could
just like
maybe do at least an episode on, but no, Plymouth and surrounding areas. So we cover anything in Massachusetts. South Shore specific is good, but we obviously can't. The history runs out eventually. There's lots, but eventually it will. So we try to spread ourselves out a little bit, talk about current events, not just historical things.
Sure.
Yeah, just fun. Sometimes even just fun little towny stuff that probably no one else would get, but that's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's good stuff. I'm a big fan of your show.
Nothing wrong with inside jokes.
Yeah, of course.
I know.
Of course.
I hear that a lot. They're like, you talk like everyone should know what you're talking about. I'm like, not my problem.
Maybe
I feel like we have
a
a decent amount of inside jokes in the show as well.
Yeah.
I feel like not a lot of people
Angela
would get.
Lansbury.
Yeah. So
works her way into all of our podcasts.
well, we've already mentioned Angela Lansbury in this one, so I think that brings the streak to 10 in a row or something like that. We were talking about the new Unsolved Mysteries reboot on Netflix, and Kat had a slip of the tongue, and she thought that the original host of the old Unsolved Mysteries was Angela Lansbury, and it was very clearly Robert Stack. Yeah. So it's kind of been the running joke.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
I listened to that episode.
So it's kind of funny.
That's cute.
And
She Wrote was great though.
Murder She Wrote was great.
Murder
Murder She Wrote was great.
Yeah.
And in our many episodes talking to Angela Lansbury in the past, we found out that her and I have the same birthday.
Yes.
We've also figured out, though, by at this point now, we're just trying to get Angela Lansbury to join the podcast.
Yes.
I mean, if you're listening, Angela, we'd love to have you.
Did we ever find out if she has a Patreon page? Like, can we pay $20 for Angela Lansbury to give us a shout out?
She probably just wants people to leave her alone.
Not a Patreon page, a cameo thing. Yeah, that's what
That would be so good.
That would be hilarious. Oh, I'll look.
I would pay hundreds of dollars for that.
Fair enough.
Hundreds of dollars? Really?
I wonder how much a cameo would go for.
It's got to be at least $100.
I mean, I doubt she's on there, but it couldn't be very expensive.
You never know.
I wouldn't think. You never.
Her agent should
know.
touch base
A
with her
good
and let her know.
publicist could get
That is definitely true.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been
done
around
a
for a
lot.
while, been in a lot of stuff, so she might have a high price. I mean, I guess stranger things have happened in the world, But, so if you haven't listened to Old Colony Cast, head on over. As I mentioned, they're a member of the Inebriart Podcast Network, like we are. Check out Old Colony Cast, where you can hear Hannah, our co-host tonight. How'd you spend your October? Did you do anything fun Halloween-type stuff? Anything spooky, other than, a little ghost hunting at the old jail?
Yeah.
Even though that was technically September, I guess, right?
Oh, was it? Yeah, I carried on the ghost hunting. I was like,
was it September?
Yeah. No, did the ghost hunting professionally for about a week after that. And then,
Nice.
Yep. And then, I don't know, what the heck did I even do? Work. Mostly. I painted some pumpkins.
Nice.
Yep. I decorated my yard.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
With some ghosty things.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's important.
Did I do anything else? No, I didn't even end up dressing up on Halloween.
Yeah, neither did we.
Yeah, it was
like
so anticlimactic. I had some...
Upsetting.
Andrew did though.
Andrew had a great costume. Do you want to tell people what you dressed up as for Halloween?
So I had to work on Halloween night, but the restaurant I work at allows us to dress up for Halloween. And I was gonna be Ted Bundy the whole time, but I couldn't find a turtleneck, and I was like, this isn't coming together. So I was like, well, I'll just be Norman Bates as his mother. So I went to Savers, found a nice dress, got a wig, gave it a little haircut because it was like a metal wig, and then just a wig, a big knife, and a dress, and Norman Bates' mother, and it was very awkward.
It was a metal wig.
It was a metal guy wig, like it was long.
Like a hair
metal.
But
I was like, this isn't gonna work, so I gave it like a trim.
I thought the same thing for you. I was like, metal like.
No,
metal?
like it was like a
Like,
metal hair wig.
Synthetic is what he's.
So I gave it a nice haircut.
Nice.
Worked out well.
Nice, man.
I'll find a picture.
I say, well, maybe
We'll post a picture
if Andrew permits, we can throw it up on the Instagram page.
I mean, it's already out there on Facebook. So.
That is true. It is out there on the book.
Which I didn't consent to.
One is so inclined to know where to look.
We did a little photo shoot after work, so it's me being a little
cool,
sexy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice bob.
So So hey, it was a weird October this year. So anything that you did decorating your yard, that's awesome. I love to see that stuff. I love people that love Halloween, so that's great. But anyone watch anything spooky that they want to report on since we last recorded? I know I finally
say it's spooky, but I watched the show The Reckoning on Netflix. Did you ever see that?
Oh.
It's like a
we talked about this briefly the other night.
Limited series. It's like a serial killer type show.
Okay,
it's pretty good.
I would say that would qualify.
I think it was. I think they filmed it in. I think it was an Australian show, but they weren't Australian actors. One of the guys from True Blood was in it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It was pretty good. And then I watched The Queen's Gambit. Not horror. Phenomenal though.
Yeah,
should watch it.
Yeah, I've heard that was pretty good.
Really good. If you like chess, even better.
Nice.
But that's it.
I don't know how to play chess. I need to learn, so I don't know if I would. I mean, I guess I would still watch it because I've heard it was pretty good. But I finally got around to the Creepshow animated Halloween special that we were talking about a few weeks back, which is on Shudder, and I think it is probably going to be on AMC if it wasn't already, because I know a lot of the Shudder original programming is on AMC now. Like I know they replayed the.
That's weird.
The first season of Creepshow they had been playing in October on AMC because AMC owns Shudder.
I did not know that.
Yeah, but it was good though. It was like the animation style was very cool. I liked it. And
so wait a minute. AMC owns Shudder, so
Correct.
why does Shudder exist if you can watch everything on AMC?
Well, not everything, not everything, but like certain shows that do well on Shudder, they will re-air them like on.
Plus,
AMC.
it's a horror themed streaming service.
Yeah,
AMC is
true.
horror.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, and AMC obviously has The Walking Dead and all that.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was good. The first segment was based on an awesome Stephen King short story that I read a long time ago, where it's a doctor that gets marooned or shipwrecked on an island, and he was smuggling heroin too because he's a drug dealer and a surgeon, and he
goes hand in hand.
doesn't have food. So what he actually does is, it's kind of gross, but he uses the heroin as as like a numbing agent, and he proceeds to cut off his own limbs and eat himself in order to survive. So
that's kind of cannibalistic. But
yes, it was very disturbing when I read the story back in the day, and it was very disturbing to see in cartoon form. So
what kind of animation is it?
It's not quite. So it's the type of I don't really know the term for it.
Oh, I don't need that. I'm like, if you could compare it to some other type of animation.
So it's the type of animation where only certain things in a shot move. Not everything moves.
Okay, I know what you're saying.
So, like, it would so like the guy, the doctor on the island, was voiced by Kiefer Sutherland. So like his lips wouldn't move during a scene. The whole thing is him like writing in his journal. So it's voiceovers just showing him in different things, and it just like a couple things cut and move. So it's like it's a different type of
very cheap style of animation.
Yeah, it was probably low budget
easier
type
to
thing,
make,
but it was still good. It was still good though. And then the second story was based on the second segment was based on a story by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son. Yeah, that was probably the weaker of the two, but the first one was good. Yeah, so I watched that. We watched the new Treehouse of Horror the other night, and the new Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, I was bummed. It wasn't very good.
What was the Bob's Burgers one this year?
I actually liked better, but it was the kids trying to exact revenge on a couple that ran out of Halloween candy the year before, and then they basically came back the next year and they didn't give them double the candy, so they were like trying to get back at them.
And Louise was all pissed.
Yeah, Louise was pissed. I like Bob's Burgers. Yeah, it's very
I think
funny.
that show's good too.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, yes. I like the.
I'm a big fan too.
Their episode when I don't pretend to be a fan. I'm not as big of a fan as
the Shining episode.
The Shining episode where Bob gets trapped in the walls. That's what I was going to say. I love that one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
I just love the humor. It's great. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Tina's
it's very
amazing.
dry. It's very dry.
I always say you can tell a lot about a person by who their favorite character is.
Yeah.
I love Tina.
Tina's your favorite?
Yeah, Tina's probably my favorite.
I like Louise.
but I think I like Tina the most.
I like them all though.
Linda is my favorite.
Linda yeah. Linda's awesome.
They're all pretty great.
Or Teddy's like right up there.
Yeah.
Teddy's pretty good too.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Everyone knows a Teddy.
What was I going to say? So yeah, that's what I've been watching. Anybody else watch anything cool, anything horror related, anything spooky?
Watched something today, and I had to pick up my phone to know what it's called. So I do this thing where I put shows on, and then I don't really pay attention to them.
I do that too!
Yeah,
Mike thinks that I'm nuts. I'm like, I need a show to just watch in the background.
Yeah, it's good until you just like have no idea what happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing that with The Good Place right now.
It's called, I think it's like The Witching something.
Oh, The Witcher?
No, definitely not that.
Not The Witcher.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, okay. I was like...
It's a compilation of like short horror movies or just like short stories. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's they're probably like a half an hour long. Every episode's different, completely different story.
I love anthology stuff.
It kind of reminds me of like creepypasta stories. You know what I mean?
I love creepypasta.
Where you're like, it's like the thing on the roof of the car was the body, like something like that.
Did you ever watch a show called Channel Zero when it was on Sci-Fi? They did like 4 seasons, I think.
No,
they did at least 3.
I think they did 4 because they did.
Oh,
Candle Cove, No End House.
Candle Cove is so good.
So good. They did 2 more. The Dream Door was another one, and then the other one with the stairway in the woods. I forget.
The Witching Season.
The Witching Season. Okay.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, I watched that today.
Like a long time ago, and I think that was one of those things where I was probably falling asleep while I was watching it, so I don't really remember it.
Yeah, it was. It was. I don't know. Cute stuff.
Cool. It was like cartoony, right?
No. Well, might have been. I only made it through a couple episodes. Could be.
Maybe I was watching something different. I don't know. There was like a witch on the front.
Yes, the witch is cartoony. The episodes themselves are not very cartoony.
All right.
I'm so bad at remembering anything.
Yeah.
I'm like Kat with movies.
That's
like,
okay.
I have to watch it like 8 times, and I'm like, I remember.
Yes.
I have a weird ability to remember things about like pop culture and horror movies that doesn't apply to anything else that's actually useful, so it's okay. Not a big deal.
Well, you found your calling, Mike.
I suppose so. I suppose so. But yeah, if you like creepypastas, Channel Zero is an awesome show, and each season it's on Shudder. All of it's on Shudder. But yeah, each season is based on a different creepypasta, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, they did 4 seasons and ultimately got canceled, but it ran on Sci-Fi, which not really known for good TV stuff.
It was actually
but it's
like a
awesome.
Scary show.
Yeah, very weird stuff. Very weird stuff. Cool. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Want to check a couple quick news items before we jump into our topic of the night?
My favorite part of the night is
insert cat eye roll here. Hey, quick stuff, though. Like I said, real quick. So we talked in our last episode when we had Matty Audette on about Mindhunter getting canceled on Netflix, which is just terrible, terrible news.
Well,
Why do we keep bringing that up?
Because it still chaps my ass. I'm still mad about it. Like, I'm David Fincher. I have to direct all kinds of awesome movies. I win a bunch of Oscars, and I'm not going to do more Mindhunter.
I can't blame him. But
I can't either.
Mindhunter should be
I'm being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic.
For him, because that show's so good.
I'm going to watch Mank the second it comes out, and anything that he does ever, I'm going to watch. But I wish he would just do more Mindhunter. So,
yeah, me too.
Another show on the chopping block. Talked about this a little bit last night, you guys. Castle Rock getting the axe on Hulu after 2 seasons. Did you watch it?
Yeah, all of it.
I know we did too.
Kind of upsetting.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I thought it was well received. No,
I thought so. Well, the critics seemed to like it. Maybe it wasn't as well watched as as a Stephen King nerd, it was kind of the perfect type of thing for me. I wish it had been a little bit better, but
I know what you mean.
Maybe they got too involved in one storyline in the second season. Like the first season was awesome because it was all over the place. It was all a bunch of different storylines.
It had a lot
Whereas
of
this was focused just generally on like
Annie Wilkes,
and
Salem's Lot.
It was literally those two, and that's kind of a weird.
You appreciated like the Easter eggs in season 1.
Yeah,
where you're like, that's this and that's
this. There were lots of Easter eggs. There were lots of like things like, hey, look at this. It's a Stephen King thing. But I feel like they didn't really go there. They could have done more, and maybe they could have done more if there was another season. But I guess apparently, so I was reading when I heard about this that the showrunners claimed they actually had no plans for a third season. So they actually weren't even planning on doing one before it actually officially got canceled and that news came out.
So maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, part of it.
I mean,
the worst part
it's not
of
always like terrible for a show to leave on high note.
Yeah.
Although
then
it
you
didn't
remember
really
it well.
wrap up.
Yeah. I know.
No, I feel like there's like so much left to be done.
Yeah.
Well, even like so at the end of season 1, they had that kind of post credit scene that was like.
You guys can swear on this podcast.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Fuck shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want.
This is Wild Card podcast.
Yeah. I forgot to say that up front. I apologize. But yeah. Whatever you want to say.
Swear so much.
You can be Hannah Unfiltered on this.
I just thought, I have to like really, keep myself in check.
And it all gets edited too. So
yes,
sometimes I edit.
Sometimes you go off the rails.
We get a little off the rails.
I mean,
Mike will edit it out.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't think I've like reached sailor level.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. But we're shit. What was this talking about?
Speak from the.
But like so like the cliffhanger at the end of season 1, where the post credit scene where it revealed that one of the characters was actually a Torrance. She was Jackie Torrance, a female Torrance.
Yeah.
Like, they never paid that off. I would have loved to have seen them do something with The Shining. But I know it's called Castle Rock. It takes place in Castle Rock. So, like, I
thought they did a good job building, like, the universe of Stephen King.
It was definitely cool.
Like,
leading off with Shawshank, which was perfect because I love Shawshank.
Yeah. And it just, it's all very subtle.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes maybe too subtle, to your point.
Right. Yeah.
They could have done more with it.
And I loved... in season 2, I love Misery. It's a great movie, but Salem's Lot is my favorite King book. So whenever they had the Barlow house in there, I was like, oh my god, great. Oh, not the Barlow, the house from Salem's Lot. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah.
Isn't it
Castle Rock?
Isn't the Barlow?
Kurt Barlow is the name of the vampire. What's
Mr.
the name?
Barlow.
I thought it was the Barlow house.
It might be the Barlow house.
No, I
Am
think the house is
this?
called something else.
Maybe.
No, Marston.
Marsden.
Marsden House. Yeah.
James Marsden.
Yes.
I
think this is spelled Marston.
Marston.
We're in the weeds here, folks. We're in the weeds.
Chopping out.
But yeah, Castle Rock canceled after 2 seasons on Hulu. Kind of a bummer.
Boo.
Another piece of negative press for Hulu there, Andrew, who you seem to... I know you hate Hulu. You're not a fan.
I don't hate Hulu. I just don't like Hulu.
Why do you hate Hulu?
No, I just don't like the way they produce... I think the stuff...
Did you watch Into the Dark? All those things?
I've seen some of those. Well, no, I watched Books of Blood, which we talked about before.
Fair.
Yeah.
It was too Hulu.
Yeah.
It was good.
Well,
it wasn't bad, but it was just too over...
That was another thing I just didn't watch. Like, it was on.
Yeah.
And you weren't paying any attention to it.
I have no idea what happened. Except I don't like the sound of people chewing when they eat. So I was like immediately...
There you go.
Mute?
I was like, I can tune this out. That's fine.
Why do people need that in movies? I don't even hear people chew.
Hey, Books of Blood. That's a nice little tie-in to what we may be talking about in a little while, my friend.
Sounds about right.
One other quick little item. So obviously one of the biggest names in horror over the last few years has been Jordan Peele. So for me, anytime...
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, have you guys talked about this yet?
If we're thinking the same thing. But
probably.
No, we have not yet. But so anytime his name is attached to something, my ears kind of perk up. So Loved Get Out. Loved Us. Was not a huge fan of his Twilight Zone reboot. Which
good.
It's okay. It was okay. I haven't seen season 2 yet. I wasn't a huge fan of the first season. There were some high points, some low points. Jordan Peele is producing a new take on Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, I heard about that. Yes.
Yeah, that news came out a few days ago, which is
definitely not what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, what were you going to say? What were you going to
Country.
say? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have not talked.
I haven't finished.
We did. So we have not talked. So we finished Lovecraft Country a few weeks ago.
I thought that we had already talked about that
in
an episode.
I forgot about something I watched.
That's what.
What?
That's what
The Color Out of Space.
Color Out of Space.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
The only problem was it was too Nick Cagey.
It was Nick Cage doing an impression of Donald Trump.
It was Nick Cage way over the top.
No, he was Donald Trump. Like, literally, when you look at him, like, he was...
Oh.
Like, and then, I don't know. I liked it. There were certain things that I didn't love about it, but I liked it.
I think it would have been better if Nick Cage wasn't in it. He's too... He's just too...
Why do they keep pumping him into, like, weird offbeat movies like that?
I think that's just what he wants to do. Mandy was the other big one that he was in.
Mother and Dad, or like Mother and Father. There's
I
another
know what
one
you're
out
talking
like
about.
that.
Yeah, but he's just so weird. Like he just is too much.
Yeah,
he takes away from the point of the movie. So you're just suddenly watching it and you go, I want to punch Nick Cage in the face.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
You don't care about anything else.
I respect it because I feel like he's done enough.
Has he?
Big Hollywood shit.
He's
like,
terrible in
dude,
most
think
things.
of all like the blockbusters he was in like back in the 90s, so he's kind of had his payday. Now he has the cachet as an actor to kind of sit back and be like, all right, well, I want to do this weird shit.
He's a bad actor.
I know, it's so he comes from like such a
wealth
of
he's a
acting.
he's a Coppola. Yeah, so like it's just
he should be a better actor than he is.
Yeah. But Color Out of Space has been on my list to watch for a few weeks now. I got to buckle down and do it.
I like the general movie.
Yeah. I love Lovecraft
kind of
stuff.
ruined it.
The best part of Nick Cage is his tombstone that we saw in New Orleans, or I saw in New Orleans.
Oh,
yeah, we didn't do that. Yeah,
yes, he has like a pyramid already there. I saw it at my bachelor party. We went to New Orleans. And we did the cemetery tour during the day, and they had like the pyramid, and they said, "Oh, that belongs to Nicolas Cage because he."
Is that where he's hiding all of the dinosaur bones?
I like everyone always says this is like National Treasure and
yeah.
But I like National Treasure.
Yeah,
I think that's a good movie.
They're decent movies. Yeah. Oh yeah, those are a couple other those movies
they're
made a lot of money.
Yeah, like, they're simple. They're fun.
It's a nice, easy watch. You don't have to pay attention. You just watch it.
You know what it reminds me of? National Treasure. It reminds me of The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
Obviously, with no mummy and no Brendan Fraser. That type of movie.
The Mummy's the best.
Anytime it's on, I will watch
Universal?
it. Oh,
Is it Universal?
The ride's fantastic.
It's gotta be
it's
Universal.
fantastic. Yeah, it's Universal.
The first Mummy. Just
the first one.
Mummy one.
The Mummy Returns and the Scorpion King one and the one where they're in Asia. There's a Yeti. I've seen them all.
I like that one better than the Scorpion King.
Yeah, Scorpion King one has some of the all-time worst
I don't think I've
CGI.
Seen that one.
Yeah, there's one where they go to China, I think, and they're fighting mummies there.
I kind of like
Yetis. Yeah, it was cool.
I could get down with a Yeti.
Yeti mummies?
But,
Yeti mummy.
Oh.
Yeah, so, okay.
Lovecraft
Country.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's amazing. See, we're up
It was great. It was great. I loved how weird and nerdy it was.
I couldn't have asked for like a better...
It was crazy. It was such a good show.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. The monsters were awesome. I thought it tied everything up nicely. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen...
Andrew
hasn't seen it. All right. Yeah, we don't have to spoil it.
Yeah. No, I watched the first 2 episodes and I haven't seen anything.
No, we won't. It's still very new.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought...
Don't ruin it.
A big thing that happened in I think one of the first 2 episodes came full circle at the end that I really liked, and it leaves it at an interesting place for the next season.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's
I thought it was awesome. I liked from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like, and we got to the point where we were just like, let's not watch it this week so we can watch 2 episodes. Because I was like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
I want to watch a bunch.
I do better watching a show when I can watch it all at once. If I have to tune in every week.
There is some weird, wild shit that was going on in that show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Beyond what I ever thought.
Seriously, and I mean, like, so, like, specifically, like, the episode where Tick's aunt, George's wife, she goes off into, like, the alternate dimensions, like, insane stuff. No,
literally doesn't care.
It doesn't. That doesn't give away anything about the plot. Yeah. It's just it's almost like a standalone episode. It doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to remember anything you said anyway.
So
it's
okay.
It's out of context.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, I know. I'm just fucking with
you. Yeah, but I couldn't recommend Lovecraft Country more highly.
Yeah. That's what I spent my October doing.
Yes. There you go. There you go.
Now I get to spend my November doing that. So
yeah, exactly.
That was so good.
Yeah. Actors were all great. Plot was good.
You know, I was not a big fan.
Of what?
Ratchet.
It was.
Oh, you didn't watch it yet?
It's a very specific American Horror Story. It doesn't give off like that same narrow storyline.
Yeah.
And like American Horror Story normally would go off the rails somehow.
Exactly.
But it wasn't that, and it was still American Horror Story somehow.
You took the words right out of my mouth. So it reminds me of most of Ryan Murphy's stuff, where there's too many episodes and not enough plot to fill out those episodes. Yeah. And this was only, what, 8?
But I feel like
it could have been 4.
Like,
it could have been 6.
Story segments that you were just like, this is too much.
Yeah. It did feel like a lost season of American Horror Story.
It did.
It could have been one.
Yeah, it easily could have
been. It was... Like, if you put that next to American Horror Story Asylum, I see it's similar.
Summer 1984 was by far better than, like, Ratchet. The
most recent one where they're at the summer camp.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
But I wasn't a huge fan of it. Beautifully like shot though. I love the costumes, love the like scenery of
I mean, the color palette, everything looked gorgeous.
Sarah Paulson's awesome. Like
she's
whatever she does.
She's Ryan Murphy's secret weapon. I feel like she's in everything that he does. And I actually think like some of the best stuff Murphy has done recently are the 2 seasons of American Crime Story. Especially the
is that the Versace
one? Which I fucking
God.
loved. Oh my God,
I kind of
so
want to watch it again.
I went to Miami
is that good?
last year, and I made
it
everyone
didn't look
go.
Like I wanted to watch it.
My husband and my friend. I made us go to the Versace house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go in, but I was like, we gotta go to the Versace house, and they literally had no idea why.
Yeah.
Or what the big deal was.
Yeah.
They didn't know about.
Yeah.
The whole story anyway.
Oh my God,
that
show was amazing.
And it was perfect. That show was perfect.
It's awesome.
It was good. Yeah. It was very good. That's another one where the acting's spot on.
I'll have to watch that. I've seen it.
Andrew, you would love it because it actually isn't even really about Versace. It's mostly about the guy that killed him.
We do that all the time.
Oh yeah. Don't worry about that. So it's told mostly from the point of view of Andrew Cunanan, who's the guy that killed Versace. It's awesome. It's on Netflix.
No, I know, and I've scrolled past it a billion times, and I'm like,
it's one of those things that I let linger for a while, and then I was like, I've heard some good
And then
things.
you were like, do I have to let it linger?
Yeah, it was,
You have to.
Sorry, I
I like nope. That was teed up for you, man. That was a perfect.
Do you have to?
Yeah. Cool. So good stuff. Good stuff.
I know. I'm happy we talked about love.
Of course, Lovecraft Country, Versace. Yeah, of course. Cool. You guys ready to move on to talk about... You guys ready to raise some hell, as Andrew said?
Oh, we raising hell.
All right. Cool. Let's do it. Yeah. All right, dudes. So as we mentioned, we are on to our topic du jour, our topic of the day. And if you've listened to any of our past shows or follow any of our accounts on social media, you know that we have kind of been beating the drum of the Clive Barker renaissance that kind of has been going on and will be going on. Upcoming based on all the projects that are in development. And, of course, our movie tonight is Hellraiser. Raising some hell.
I say that every time.
So, Andrew, I know this is a personal favorite of yours, and Hannah, a personal favorite of yours as well. So I felt it was only right for Andrew to drive the bus tonight. Andrew, I kick it over to you, my friend.
Be careful what you wish for, because this bus is going in a ditch. So I think what we should start off with is the fact that we've been talking about this renaissance of Clive Barker stuff, and there's a whole lineup. I mean, we've talked about a few of them. We've already talked about Books of Blood, which is already on Hulu. Yep. Pretty good, not bad, watchable. I recommend it. Yeah. But then there's also, which has been out for a while, is the Candyman remake that's coming out. Jordan Peele's directing it.
I know.
Is Tony Todd in that? Is Tony Todd back?
So he's rumored to be in it, and I think his voice is in the trailer. But I think in the trailer it's tough to tell, but I think it kind of is implying they're passing the mantle of Candyman onto the new actor, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. He was in Aquaman. He's been in a few other things.
Aquaman.
I don't watch.
I didn't see Aquaman. He was one of the guys in Striking Vipers episode of Black Mirror. Remember that one?
Striking
Vipers.
The video game one.
About.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, where they're in the house?
No, not that one.
He
the
was
one,
in.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
he was in Get.
Is that him?
No, he's not in. I don't think he's in Get Out. He's been in some stuff, but I don't think he was in Get Out.
What's
Striking
his
Vipers. Well, you're thinking of the other one,
Abdul Mateen.
the other Black Mirror episode, with the one where they were like.
It's the two guys playing the fighting video game and they end up falling in love with each other.
That's like the first season. That's the second.
No, that was the most recent season.
No, he's right.
Which one are you talking about?
Talking about the one where like they're like running on treadmills.
Yeah,
and it's like
no.
American Idol.
Okay, so you're thinking of
the guy that's in Get Out.
15 Million Merits.
Yes,
and that's Daniel Kaluuya. He's in Get Out.
I'm running into this not knowing anyone's name.
Newest
I'm just throwing out wild guesses.
The newest season.
The smelly
terror
season?
of the smelly season. Yes, him. He was in. Remember the one. The terrible season that had the Miley Cyrus episode, but it was the first episode where the two guys they have the video game where they can go into the video game and they can play the fighting game against each other.
That's how bad that episode was.
They end up falling in love with each other.
Because the second one wasn't bad. It had the guy from Sherlock who played Moriarty.
Yes, that one was good.
That's a good episode.
Yeah, that one was
good. That was the only good one in that three. Yes. That's because of.
But again.
Off topic.
Yes,
we're off the rails.
Yes.
I told you this bus was
But that guy, Yahya Abdul Mateen, is in Candyman, and it's implied in the trailer that he's going to be the new Candyman. But I think Tony Todd is in it. So, sorry. Go ahead.
Also, little under the radar, because nobody really appreciates this movie the way I do, is they are coming out with a new Nightbreed show, which is a Clive Barker adaptation. The movie Nightbreed, I think, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The serial killer in that movie is awesome. His mask is awesome. That movie's so weird. It's so Clive Barker. I just I don't know. There's something about Clive Barker movies and like adaptations. I wish I read, because if I had read his books, maybe I'd like it even more.
Yeah.
Have you ever read any
I admittedly have not read enough Clive Barker. I have read.
Is that because you're a Stephen King fanboy?
I'm a Stephen King lunatic, but I don't dislike Clive Barker. I just haven't. I feel like
you would like his stuff, probably.
I'm sure I would. And some of the short stories that I've read, they're very different than anything King writes for the most part. But I like it. It's different.
It's like the British Stephen King.
Well, King goes a lot more into like the Lovecraftian type stuff in certain stories, which I like. Barker has his own.
He gets
crazy,
into like S&M. Kind of universe.
Yes.
Every one of his things is overly sexualized. Like a lot of that stuff is just like sex.
Yep. But yeah. So I admittedly have not read as much Clive Barker as I should have. So maybe that will be on my to-do list.
Well, you should be excited to hear this because we already knew about it. Did we talk about this on the last one?
The
new Hellraiser series.
Yes.
On HBO.
Yep. We were talking about.
We've got
this.
a release date now.
Okay.
Most likely it's going to be late 2021, possibly early 2022 because of COVID, obviously.
Yep. And Barker jumped on as the executive producer for that, right?
Do you know who one of the directors is? Michael Dougherty.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who you like? Trick or Treat?
Krampus and Trick or Treat director?
Yes.
Krampus?
Yep. That's awesome. He's he loves horror, so I'm sure it's going to be in good hands.
So those are the new items that Clive Barker... And it's been a while since Clive Barker's been kind of relevant.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting his Stephen King treating, which he deserves.
Yeah. Well, I know we were talking about with Audette that King has had, like, a renaissance in the last few years where people have actually, like, taken his adaptations seriously as opposed to in the 80s where they just greenlit everything that had King's name on it, and there were some truly terrible movies that came out of it. Some of them not as bad as people remember.
I like a lot of them. Like, nobody likes Thinner. I
like Thinner.
That's a weird one.
It's
very
so
strange.
bad,
Yeah.
but it's such a bad. It's
Very
such a like made-for-TV movie, but I love it.
We just watched Lawnmower Man.
That's a weird one too.
Yeah.
That one's really
long.
weird.
It's very long.
You guys ever see the Mangler?
No.
Mangler
With Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger. It's about a industrial laundry machine that is possessed by a demon.
That's
and
amazing.
Kills people.
Right?
Fucking crazy.
This sounds like that movie that I don't know if it's still on Amazon that I wanted to watch. And it was The Sofa.
Oh, the Killer Sofa.
Killer Sofa.
Yeah.
Killer Sofa. It
Yep.
looked so good. It was like the sofa with eyeballs, getting up and
eating people.
Like
Yeah.
exactly what you would think it should be.
Yeah.
And it was.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think people have been kind of so obviously you get like movies like It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2, where they're taking stuff. Yeah. Okay, we won't go there.
Yes, the original.
But even movies like Gerald's Game, which is on Netflix, like movies like that, Doctor Sleep, that are kind of taking King material seriously and making it scary and not goofy. I think we're headed down that same trajectory with Clive Barker, to your point.
And just like Stephen King, a lot of his early adaptations weren't very good, which is why he directed Hellraiser, because he was so dissatisfied with how the other ones had come out. This is his directorial debut.
Yeah.
Directorial. I sound like Steve.
Yeah, didn't I see that they wanted somebody else to direct it, and he kind of said, fuck you,
no, he
I
said,
want to direct it.
No, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Basically, he was like, I don't like what you guys are doing with my books.
Yeah.
I feel like Stephen King would have done the same thing eventually.
Yeah. I respect that level of control over your stories. I think that is pretty cool.
Yeah, you should do that. You feel it should be portrayed a certain way. And even there were some things that he had to accept the studio stance. So, this is one of my favorite ones. Is it's based off his novella, The Hellbound Heart, which they didn't want to. The studio didn't want that name because it sounded like a romance. It didn't sound like a horror movie, which I can understand.
This is a romantic movie for sure.
It is so romantic, but this is what he comes back at. Do you know what the next name he had for the movie was? Sadomasochist from Beyond the Grave. So he went from that to Hellraiser, which is fine. I'm sorry, my phone was ringing from a weird number, and I dropped a quarter out of my pocket. But then also, I didn't write this down because I wasn't keeping notes. But apparently, after he came up with that weird name for a movie, he's like, well, I'm just going to ask people that are part of this project what they think it should be named. And apparently, I probably have the exact title name wrong, but I'll give you the point. Some 6-year-old woman said... the title of the movie should be "Women Are Just Looking for a Good Fuck," because, which is like
essentially what drives the plot of the movie, right?
She's just like,
just blow up your life because
I don't care if that's your brother, but he gives that good D. So, oh my gosh, I mean, but that's what's happening,
pretty much.
Because what I don't understand is, so major plot hole. If she really cares about Frank is the brother's name, right? Frank.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yep.
Frank.
Uncle Frank.
She thinks he's so sexy. He's
I think
so
Frank
hot.
Is the guy from Home Alone,
He's so. She's just like heat. She's like, I feel it. There's a heat coming off you.
I mean, have you ever seen somebody that is so drastically better looking than their sibling before in your life?
But here's the weird thing that doesn't make any sense: is that she does all of this just to get Frank, his voice and like soul inside of her ugly husband that she doesn't like in the movie.
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand. Like, you want the brother so bad, and you're doing this. I'm like, I don't understand.
Well, I think it was just by like
it just happened to be circumstance.
Yeah.
But I find that funny.
But no, she did have a hold on like her relationship with Larry. She was trying to protect him when Frank like came into the room, and she was like, "No, don't!" Like,
it's probably the one redeeming quality she has.
Yeah, because she's the major villain.
Yeah, I think so
she leads everyone to their death.
Yeah.
But also, imagine being Julia. Like, you go into this new house, it's disgusting, and then you find like a weird creature in your attic, and you're not going to do.
Can we just talk about that?
It's like, yeah, let's move in.
Can we talk about that house?
Like,
first off, you go in there and you don't go. It was like, so what is it? Thursday, maybe a Friday. When they get to the house, they look at it. This is my house. My mom lived here for 10 years. She's dead in the attic, or something is happening. Weird. There's weird smells coming from here. There's maggots in the kitchen, and then you go to her and she agrees to it, and you go, "We're going to move in Sunday." You need to get that place like remediated. It is disgusting.
Yeah, it's
You're just not moving in. There's maggots everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Needed a cleanup crew.
Yeah.
So, I never picked up on this, having watched it a couple times. But Clive Barker originally wanted this movie set in England, in London.
Yes, I did see this as well.
So, a lot of the actors in the movie
they're English.
Are English, and they have English accents. So, at least two, I'm pretty sure Larry or Frank.
And your chair, too. Sorry.
Frank, sorry. I'm squeaking. I'm nervous.
I need a WD-40.
I'm trying to keep the bus on the road. There's snow coming down.
Yes.
White knuckles going. No. But,
going down my driveway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Without the plow.
Preview of things to come.
Wow. Now I forget what I was talking about.
Okay, so
I remember
English
actors. So at least two of the main characters, and I'm pretty sure it's Frank, the brother. His voice is dubbed. That's not his voice at all.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
You could pick up on that right away?
No, I didn't pick up on it while I was watching the movie, but I did read that out.
Did you pick up on when you were watching the movie? Because I never did.
Yeah, so when I watched it when I was like 10, I picked it up. It was
well, now I feel like an idiot.
I missed that, yeah. I didn't know.
I was like, what's up with his voice? Like,
Which is weird to me.
Because I always pick up on it, because I'll watch, like I started watching that show Dark.
I was going to say, that's a perfect example.
And I watched the first episode.
Beautiful.
I watched the first episode with subtitles. No, not subtitles. With voiceover.
The dubbing was so distracting.
I can't watch this.
Yeah. No, but switch to subtitles.
I switched to subtitles, and I went, well, now I can't fall asleep while I'm watching this and pretend like I watched it.
So you watch like 6 episodes.
So then you actually
like
watch it, and then you still don't know what's going on in the show. Because
that is one of, if not the most confusing show.
I had to take notes. I watched the full season, and then I convinced my husband. I was like, you have to watch the show. It's genius. You have to watch it.
Yeah. So
we
you
went back
watched
and
a television show, and you took actual notes?
Yeah, I had to know who was connected
so
with
impressive.
who.
That's a good reference.
That sounds like something Michael would do.
Probably.
But then you're not
like, have you ever taken
be
notes?
Like, I have no idea what's going on,
yeah.
and then watch it all again and be like, oh.
No, I'll just watch it again, and then I won't remember any of it. I'll just watch it like 8 times.
I had to, and then once the second season came out, I was like, we gotta watch the first one again because I don't remember
what happened.
Yeah,
you were paying attention to the character.
So what was the point of the notes?
Oh, to know like who is who in the line of like the trilogy, like
because they really like there's shows that like try to mess with your head. They're just like
it was.
We're gonna make your brain scrambled eggs.
It was the best.
No idea
I love like exercising your mind like that. With the show is just like a magnificent thing.
Yeah. When I think of like all of the plot threads in that show and all the characters and everything, I think of Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Charlie with the Pepe Sylvia scene when him and Mac are working with the company. I don't know if you like Always Sunny.
I do, but
and Charlie has this big thing on the wall with like 8,000 documents and just lines everywhere with Pepe Sylvia in the middle. Like I'm just like that is how convoluted the plot of Dark is.
That scene I think was in that show.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there was a wall in that show like that.
Probably.
Oh, okay. Hellraiser.
Right?
So another concession that Barker made on the show was Pinhead.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the name.
It's not his name.
It's Priest.
Yeah, he was the Hell Priest.
He's Hell Priest. And he's not even the top echelon of the Xenobites.
So where did Pinhead
Cenobites?
Cenobites.
Cenobites, yeah.
Like xenophobes?
Xenomorphs, xenophobes.
So where did the nickname Pinhead come from?
I know.
Oh. No, see, Hanna knows.
That's why Hannah's here.
Actually, the crew in making the movie, the Pinhead was created from the
makeup.
Crew.
Yep.
Yeah, they just nicknamed him that. His name was just Lead.
Yeah.
They're all characterized.
Oh, because the woman's name, like they were like, you can't put that name up. It was something like raunchy and terrible.
So as like she's. Was it credited as just being woman Cenobite, and then there's like the chattering Cenobite, the Butterball Cenobite.
I saw this in the credits. Yes. Yeah, lead Cenobite. Was,
lead Cenobite.
Doug Bradley.
So he's not Pinhead in the credits. He doesn't get credited until like the third movie.
Like if you made a movie now, it would be
Pinhead.
Pinhead. Number one.
Wow.
But even though he's like least in it, although he does have one of the best lines in that movie.
His lines are powerful.
The one where he's like, "We have such sights to show you."
Yeah.
So good.
I also saw
that makes me terrified.
Yeah, he was good.
That every set that Doug Bradley was on while he was playing Pinhead or the lead Cenobite, whatever you want to call him,
it's Pinhead.
He was Pinhead. Sure. So we'll call him Pinhead. He was in makeup, full makeup on every time he was on set. So he like went to a rap party after the movie. And he just thought that people were being unfriendly to him, but nobody had ever seen him outside of the Pinhead makeup, so that's why they didn't know who he was.
So like, who the fuck are you, Doug?
Yeah, like,
hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, Doug, what are you doing here?
Are
you in this movie?
Along.
Like, yeah, what are you, like a an assistant to like the 5th director or something? Get out of here. Bye.
Why don't you go hang out with Mr. Ding?
Mr.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Skeeter. Roger Klotz.
His makeup.
Douglas.
I mean,
Excuse me, Douglas.
Are we talking? Hey, Doug Funnies. Are we talking about makeup like at some point, or can we talk about makeup now?
We can talk about whatever you want.
Well, like I was gonna say, the makeup.
This
and
bus goes in
like,
every direction.
Good. Down the hill, in the snow.
Yeah.
Backwards, reverse,
yes.
brakes, squealing, sliding into your embankment.
But I actually thought, given like, so when did this movie come out?
1984.
84. Okay.
87.
7.
Wrong. 84.
87.
No, it's 84. Everyone.
It's 87.
Is that a 7 or a 4 on your
I had a 7 originally, and then I looked it up again, and it was 84.
It's 1987.
No.
Well, either way, if we can talk about the makeup
I
for
don't
a
like
second,
that, because that changes my whole thing.
I got you,
You
bro.
have that list.
I got you. Yep. Go ahead.
Why
Keep
did I think
going.
it was
Go ahead, Kat.
84?
So, anyways, so you don't have
I got
anything
it.
on the
Don't
makeup on the Okay, no.
It is 87. What the fuck? I'm listening.
Go ahead.
I'm just upset with myself that I overlooked that.
All right. So, anyways, I was gonna say Pinhead, like the makeup and stuff. Watching it again this time, you kind of appreciate it more.
Oh,
like I saw when I was a kid the last time I watched it, and like I watched it earlier today, and I saw him and I was like, wow, for given like the 1984, I'm like his makeup's pretty good, like. All the like the acupuncture kind of needles all over the face and like the
very good
chatter guy. I mean, all the makeup and like special effects
the Cenobites
were pretty
really awesome practical effects. And Pinhead is probably one of the most iconic horror villains of all time.
Yeah. But I will say,
he's probably cooler than Michael Myers.
I will say I appreciate the datedness kind of the box with the little fake lightning bolts coming out of it.
A lot of people complain about the end of that movie.
That's great though. No, but
did you hear that story?
Like,
no.
Like how fans were complaining about the end special effects, like because I guess they're kind of cheesy.
Like
when he's getting ripped apart, everything at the very end.
Oh,
and
I like that.
Clive Barker's reasoning is, he's going, well, but this was our budget. By that point in the movie, we had no budget left, so it was me and this guy at his apartment getting wasted doing the final like special effects. And he goes, yeah, you can clearly tell that we had a low budget and we may have been drinking a lot.
Okay. I honestly, I thought they all had. That's the kind
I thought
of
the end
special
scene where he
effects.
gets ripped apart is good. Maybe they're talking about like the
dragon,
the box.
Oh, that part.
Like the get like zapped away.
The weird lightning bolts that's like coming out of the box that are totally like a backdrop. Like everything else is perfect. But
like,
I appreciate
the flesh being ripped
movies,
apart.
So you're like, that's fine.
I just like how it's definitely clay or whatever that they're ripping apart when they do like the math.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that to me is how every person getting ripped apart should be made with clay.
Yeah.
Because it looks so good.
It does.
It's something about it that makes it horror specific, and it's like, oh, I don't need to see the most. I don't need a realistic.
Of, like, grabbing someone's skin and just ripping
the guy that came from hell with pins in his head. Killed that guy. It didn't look very realistic. Yeah. Well, none of this is realistic, so it shouldn't be realistic.
Oh,
I like the clay.
You mean the movie about the guy that got the magical sex box from Morocco and people come out from other dimensions? Didn't look real enough for you? Is that what you're telling me? Ooh, cool.
And then some. Do you know where they got? He got like the design for the outfits of the.
A sex shop?
Cenobites. I don't know why I can't say that.
Yeah, you have a really hard time with that.
I keep wanting to say Xenobites.
You're thinking of Alien. You're thinking of Xenomorph.
Yeah. Xenobites.
He got it from... Cenobites.
Cenobites.
Let's all say it together. Cenobites.
I'm just not going to say it.
It's okay. Fair enough.
Cenobites.
No.
Can I distract you for a second?
Centobites.
Cenobites.
Okay.
Can I distract you for uno momento?
Yes, please do.
So you were talking about this coming out in 1984, which it actually came out in 87, like we said.
You know what's weird though? I don't know. I don't like that. I got false information.
It's okay.
It happens.
Who gave me this?
Okay.
Trump?
It happens.
This happens. This happens. 1987, in fact, a phenomenal year for horror. Can I lay some of these movies on
here?
And also,
I think we should compare between 1987 and 1984.
I can tell you this year is better.
1987?
100% better.
1987, the year of Cat's birth.
Mike, you may think differently after you hear this list.
Well, I can tell you that Ghostbusters and Gremlins came out in 84, right? Both of those?
Yeah, so those are 1 and 2 on your list.
I would have no idea what came out in 84.
Well, no,
yeah, how did you know that?
Because I love Ghostbusters.
He's just a brain of
and Gremlins. And Gremlins.
Like,
you know
what?
the exact year this 1984.
Both yearly.
Ghostbusters
is one of my classic nostalgic movies that I watch every year.
Though, right?
Not a horror movie. We talked about Ghostbusters in the scariest scenes in non-horror movies when we did that episode. I talked about Ghostbusters. Yes. So no, I don't think it's horror. It's more of a comedy. First Ghostbusters.
Was it like the end with the dog thing?
I had the library ghost, and then the dogs. The dogs are crazy too. Yeah,
they were crazy looking.
All right, so here's a few. Okay, there's a ton. So obviously you have Hellraiser, 1987. Okay, John Carpenter classic Prince of Darkness came out in 1987. If you guys have seen that, anyone? Bueller? No.
No Bueller.
The Lost Boys came out in 1987.
Oh, okay.
Heck yeah.
Great film. Monster Squad came out in 1987, which is a phenomenal movie.
Oh, do I see The Gate?
The Gate came out in 1987.
That's a good one.
A classic, Evil Dead 2, 1987. My goodness.
More?
One of my all-time favorites, the original Predator, 1987.
That movie's phenomenal.
That is a fantastic movie. Andrew,
that's probably the best movie on that list.
I might agree with you. Andrew, Creepshow 2 came out in 1987.
Creepshow 2, Father's Day. It's Father's Day.
That's the first one. That's
the best.
Creepshow 2 has the raft.
That's Creepshow 2, though, and that's the first episode of season 2. Episode 2. See, is it?
No, the first segment of Creepshow 2 is the one with the cigar store Indian chief.
No, that's the first one.
No, that's the second one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing.
First one is Father's Day, the crate, they're creeping up on you, and the one with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, that one's weird.
Yeah.
And Ted Danson.
But Creepshow 2 has the raft, which is one of the best segments of Creepshow.
But I do like the Father's Day one, too, because that has Ed Harrelson in it. Ed, not Head.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors has one of the all-time great horror movie songs. That came out in 1987. Let's see what else we got here.
Songs?
Yes, it's Dream Warriors by somebody, I forget who. The rest of this is kind of crap, but Jaws the Revenge, all the Jaws sequels can...
You know what happens a lot of times?
A Return to Salem's Lot.
Mike will say this. Mike will go, here's a bunch of shit, and then he'll list something, and I like that movie. And I feel offended.
Let's see. The Howling 3.
No.
Let's just skip it. Teen Wolf 2. No thanks. Predator, though. Dope.
Predator's number
Evil
one.
Dead 2, dope movie. Monster Squad, awesome
Predator
movie.
2 might be better than all those movies, too, because Predator 2 is awesome.
That is a spicy take right there.
Dude,
Predator is
Danny Glover
phenomenal.
Makes every movie better.
Yeah.
Angels in the Outfield, Saw.
Remember in Predator 2 when they go on board the Predator ship and there's the xenomorph skull in the ship mounted on the wall?
Vaguely.
I remember that. So yeah, that's some of the other movies that came out in 1987. What were some of the other ones that you had for 84?
Well, so we had Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Chud. I don't know if you've
Chud. Yeah.
Speaking of Gremlins, does anyone see the resemblance of the Gremlins and Hellraiser?
Yes.
Kind of intertwined.
Yes, because he goes to get something.
He goes to get...
Yes.
And then...
great point.
All hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of that earlier when we were watching it, and he gets returned back to the...
Just trade out the Mogwai for the puzzle box.
Wow.
That's so funny that you thought that.
I did,
Very impressive,
Thank
Catherine.
you.
Nice job, Kat.
Nice
job.
Yeah.
Let's Catherine Wallace with that.
Catherine Wallace. My
voice.
girl.
That's it for me. I'm all done.
Leave it on a high note like a stanza.
Other ones, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Okay, good movie.
Children of the Corn. Smells. Friday
You
the
guys don't like
13th.
Children of the Corn?
No, I don't like that.
I
Malachi.
haven't seen it.
I don't like it.
If I don't remember it, I'm going to say I haven't seen it. But
Really? It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't one of my personal favorites. I've seen it. It wasn't one of my
You really like that movie?
favorites.
I don't really like it, but I'm not like, hell no.
No.
Oh, I'm not a hell no.
Okay.
I would watch it if it was on.
Yeah.
And then I'd go, why did I watch this?
Children of the Corn,
But
the
I would
original one,
still
has
watch
one
it.
of the all-time creepy movie kids.
It's just very interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I don't know. It's like The Stand. No, that's not that.
I like The Stand.
It's so boring.
It's not boring.
You also like the original, which is good.
Yes, I do.
Better,
Yeah.
though, better.
Better, yes,
better.
I do.
You're saying better.
I don't disagree with
Absolutely.
that.
Thank
You
you.
don't disagree?
No.
It
You
is
think
so
it's
nice
better?
having
Tim Curry
another woman on
rules.
this podcast.
Yeah, but you
My
can't
God.
bang it off on Tim Curry. Tim Curry is the best.
Tim
but
Curry's
awesome.
mine is Tim Curry. Tim
No,
Curry.
I like it better.
No,
I like
really?
it better because I grew up with it.
As
I've
I've
watched it
said,
forever.
if you watch it, which I haven't seen in a while, I would give it a rewatch with you if you want. I guarantee you that if you watch it again, it does not hold up
I
as
know
well
it.
as Tim Curry's performance in it holds up.
Here's the thing, like, just about most movies from a
Go
while
ahead,
ago.
Hannah. Take it away.
I don't think any of them actually hold up as well as they're supposed
They
to.
shouldn't.
No,
Probably not.
There's no way they do. There's always
So
something.
you have to make an adjustment
Right.
in your like spectrum.
With
I do.
how all over
It's
the
not a
map
movie,
it
though.
is, the book it is, I can appreciate what they did with that budget and those special effects back in, 92?
Yeah, I think
whenever
you're right.
it was.
92.
I completely respect it. I just happened to find It Chapter 1, the movie that came out recently, scarier and a better viewing
No,
experience.
I thought
Sorry.
I thought the first one was scarier.
The first recent movie?
No. Like
The TV
first
series.
TV series,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right.
Agreed.
I really like
Two to two.
I
Thank
really
you.
liked the one that just came out. I thought it was good.
All I'm
I thought it
saying-
was great. Second, It Chapter 2 was like more of a comedy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
See, I loved all the weird cosmicness and
But
the crazy monsters. I
definitely-
loved all that.
I appreciate all of it.
Yeah.
One
for sure.
was way better than two. Like,
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
movies, of the two movies.
I'll grant you that. I liked them both, but We digress, as we often do.
I know.
We had a point on something. We're talking about clowns. No.
We were talking about 84.
We're talking about
Chud.
I'm like, we were talking about Hellraiser
Chud.
and then other movies.
We were talking about Chud and somehow
Children
we
of the
got
Corn.
onto It.
Which
then Children of the Corn, which leads to It.
And then you said Silent Night, Deadly Night. All right, cool. So
Yeah,
those
it.
are some horror movies. Yeah.
I was going to say, we talked about Hellraiser, and then Hellraiser came out in 1987, and not in 1984, but we went through all the movies in 1987, and the ones in 1984, just because even though it didn't come out that year, we wanted to compare, so...
Well, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
I don't even know where we've gotten at this point.
Right?
We're getting somewhere. But, do you know the budget for this movie, Michael?
I do not.
It's pretty low.
I would imagine it was pretty low.
Wait,
Yeah.
are we going to do higher or lower?
Roughly $1 million was the budget.
That was it?
Okay.
That's
Pretty good. Yeah,
Makes sense.
Pretty good. Do you know how much this movie earned?
Practical effects are always going to be
How
better.
What do you think the
Earned
return on
much,
this movie was?
Much more than the
Much
budget.
more than $1 million, I would think.
You are right.
I'm going to say 50 million.
No.
No, half that. Less than half that.
Yeah.
20 million.
Keep
So they
going
turned
down.
$1 million.
I don't think it
pretty
was.
good.
I don't think it was well received critically.
No.
So I don't think it probably did as well as you might have just said. But yeah, 20 million.
20 million on $1 million is good.
That sounds pretty. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, Nintendo had
They had a Hellraiser game?
developed a game for
Really?
it, but they never ended
Really?
up making it. I
That
was like,
is
that would have been
fucking
awesome.
insane. A Hellraiser Nintendo game?
Yeah,
Wow.
I would play that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be pretty bad, but I'd try it. So,
I wonder what that would look like.
what would you say?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know.
What would you say
I don't know.
if...
I feel like I'm going under the assumption that everyone listening has seen this movie. Have we not?
I
Of course,
saw the
you've all
movie.
seen- No,
I
I know.
saw-
No, listening. People listening. Probably
Sure.
listen to it. But I also don't want to give too much away, so I like to be vague.
No, you
and I
can
like
give
to
it away. We're talking
movie
Give
about
it away.
like
Give it away.
30
Give it away.
years
No,
old.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we're
Okay.
well in
So-
spoiler
If you haven't
territory.
seen it by
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
that's on
We're
you.
well into spoiler territory.
Spoil away. Yeah, like this is an episode about this movie.
Yeah.
So you
movie
were
is
under the
about a,
assumption someone's already seen
This
this.
movie is about an adulterous woman.
Yes.
See, you know what?
No, just kidding.
I don't know.
But
Yes.
that's like the main thing is she's a psychopath, and then she's like, I will sacrifice people.
Is she
to
a
you."
psychopath, or is that just under the male gaze? Because I think she...
When she's murdering them?
It's an interesting question. So
She's murdering people. So.
Is she? Or is she
She's
in
leading
an
them-
abusive relationship where she feels compelled to comply with the person who's asking her to do this? The person being a monster in her attic.
Which maybe we probably all would be like,
That is an-
you're a monster.
excellent point.
But there's parts where she enjoys it. Quite often, I feel like.
So
Like,
I'm
you
not
can
saying
Okay.
she's not a compelling character
Okay.
with her faults.
So the flashback scenes with Frank and Julia, okay, when it first kind of shows you that they had an affair in the past, right?
Oh, and her hair was so lovely.
Oh my god, I know. He puts a switchblade to her throat and cuts off her clothes. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
a
think
very
Hanna
weird
is onto
relationship.
something
It's
there.
very
This is
suggestive.
very.
He's pretty forceful.
Yeah.
She actually didn't let him in. He said,
Yeah.
"Hey,
He's
you're
like,
gonna let me in? I'm
"Hey,
soaking
Can I
wet."
come in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Dude, creepy.
Didn't
creepy
even
guy.
ask. He said, "Are you gonna let me in?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like a vampire kind of. You have
Yeah.
to invite them in. To your
And he
house.
and she was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So, and my question
Valid
was,
point. I
so
thought of it that way.
we are as viewers meant to believe that Larry. Larry does not know about this affair in the past, correct?
No,
I didn't think
He
so.
doesn't.
But Larry and Julie have a very weird relationship where, like, he's very passive aggressive to her. Like, okay,
He is.
he's okay. So first of all, it took them the longest for 3 men I've ever seen in my life to carry a mattress up the stairs.
Oh, that's my least favorite scene.
And the cut,
the nails.
but like,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
when the one buddy,
Oh,
when the one buddy, the mattress is
So
still
gross.
there. He says, "You guys got any beers?"
Oh, and his
And-
daughter walks
Yeah.
by.
I was
Yeah,
So
like,
and then
what does he say to her? I don't even know what he
Larry
says.
Larry
It's so
goes
weird.
Larry like looks at her and he goes, "Oh, I guess I'll go get them because I have nothing better to do." And
Yeah,
like looks
he's
right at her like
Definitely
he's an
a
asshole
dickhole
too.
to her, yeah.
So
And she should have been like,
then
"You
the
can't even
daughter
get a
shows up
mattress up
and his
the
two
stairs."
creepy friends are like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Like I'm gonna block your view from entering."
It
or
reminds
block
me
you
of
from entering here."
Poltergeist, like the same thing,
Yeah.
same type of scene.
Very,
Actually,
very similar.
much,
Where
yeah,
there's an
very
underage
much
girl
so.
walking outside and some guy's cat calling at her, and the mom's
80s
like,
creepiness,
"Oh, well,
man.
it happens."
80s
You're like, the
creepiness.
guy's like,
That is
Yeah.
not okay. Yeah.
"What is
Yeah.
going on?"
I think this movie does a very unique thing where it makes, and you may disagree with me on this, but it makes, I think, the three main characters, I'm saying Frank, Julia, and Larry, extremely unlikable to the point where you are rooting for the Cenobites to fucking get him.
Oh, no, I agree completely.
I
think Julia's a piece of shit. I'm just giving a different perspective on
I agree.
scenario.
It is a weird scenario. The more you say it, I'm like, oh, that's actually
a great point.
No, the only person you feel bad for is Krista or Kirsta, whatever it is.
Kirsty. Yeah, Kirsty. Yeah.
She's the only one that's like being like...
There's a lot... So you guys... This movie is like just... riddled with symbolism of just everything, right?
Yeah.
And there's the night before, like when she gets drunk, that man makes very suggestive comments at her at the dinner table. He's like, lay down. And her dad's like, cheers to you. Right?
Yeah. Hey, don't leave. I want to keep partying.
Yeah.
No, let's go. Also,
weird.
He does, like, I've never seen anybody do it before, but he takes the cigarette, he like flips it into his mouth and his tongue, and then like flips it back out while it's still lit. That
she was very impressed
weird.
by that.
Yeah, she was.
So they went home together, but if you see her like walking up the stairs, she's in an all white dress, is like suggesting like whatever, right?
Yeah. Yep. Purity.
But they sleep in 2 separate beds, her and Larry.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right?
Very
I don't know.
I feel like that was a thing from the 80s. Maybe it's because it was British originally.
But
they did that in Britain. I don't know.
Also, was it in Britain?
Well, it was.
That was very ambiguous
as
well.
Movie,
yeah, because
it's
half American, half British people.
because
everything
Clive
looked
Barker
very
wanted
British.
it to be British, so I feel like the whole movie was filmed in England.
I'm pretty sure it was.
And then they just were like, "This is America," and they were like, "Shit, no, it isn't. This is me smashing into your computer."
Oh my god!
Smash!
Oh, smash! No, I don't know.
It looked very, very much like.
And they all were English or British. Like, it was very obvious. Like, even when they were trying not to have an accent, I was like,
yeah,
you have an accent.
This has nothing to do with anything we were just talking about. Kirsty, though, is she not a perfect combination of Drew Barrymore and Winona Ryder?
Oh, that's a great call.
That's a good call.
She looks exactly like both of them smushed together.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
And then I never saw her in anything else.
Yeah, I would say she had like a very familiar look to her, but I couldn't recall seeing her in anything else. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go from this.
I mean, I think someone mentioned that she looked like Drew Barrymore, and someone was like, "I see Winona Ryder," and I was like, "We can see both."
Yeah, you
they had a baby.
You meshed it together. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
So yeah, I think that there is some very interesting stuff going on here, but I agree with you. Probably the weirdest thing was him cutting himself on that nail.
Oh, that was so gross.
And how freaked out he was by blood. Like, he was like, he like ran upstairs, and he's
and
like,
that started the whole thing. That led to the
and...
best scene in the movie. His blood, and then the thing, whatever his name, Frank is coming out of the...
Dude, if you guys got cut that bad, you would be freaking out too. Like,
I've cut my finger that bad, and I've literally been like...
Dude, he gashed, like, his...
I fell on the ice taking the trash out one time.
Doesn't
sound very good. No, this was when I lived in Hull. And I fell so hard on the ice, and I smashed my hand straight down. And my hand literally went split wide open.
Oh, my God.
And I had to get stitches. I went to my mom. I was like, can you put a Band-Aid on this? She was like, your hand is wide open. You have to go get stitches. I wouldn't have gone and got stitches. I would have just been like, I'll bleed out in my bed. It's fine.
Oh, my God.
I should have gotten that, like... And I did.
That made me so queasy.
Yeah,
and I did.
That was...
you were questioning that I know what blood
among
is.
everything in that movie that could make you queasy.
I know it's weird, right? He loses a lot of blood. Too.
Way too much blood for a cut.
The smushing into the nail. It's not even like the sharp.
Yeah.
Oh no,
edge of the
it's
nail.
like it's in clay almost.
Yeah.
It looks like it's on clay again.
They show
something about clay.
I think it's like the fact that they wait to like actually you see like the nail, you see his hand, and they
it's
flash
going back and forth.
Because what happens is every time you rewatch it, you start seeing that part happen, and you go, "Oh,
Julia's
I
on her
can't
wedding
watch this.
dress.
Here comes the fucking hand getting cut in the air. Ah, it's so gross."
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful.
And the fact that he's just walking around and no one cares that he's literally dumping blood.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot of blood to be losing. You should probably.
But you know, it's one of those things where you know what's coming, and then it comes, and you're like.
Who walks upstairs to the attic and doesn't wrap it up themselves? Your hand is bleeding out. It
almost is like he was a child going, "Mommy, I cut myself. Can you help me?"
Figure it out.
It's definitely a weird relationship. And to your point, like what you were saying earlier, when they started moving in, he was like, almost making her promises of being happier or whatever.
Yeah.
So it almost makes me feel like maybe he knew or something.
Well, that's why I was confused, because it's obvious their relationship is strained. Like, you can see that they're trying to, like, work some shit out. Or, I guess not really. Either one of them doesn't really seem to give a fuck. Like, why are they married? But
I don't know.
Yeah, it was that was very strange to me. And, like, we were talking about before, like, how it's, in a demented, twisted way, a very romantic story. Like, the whole love triangle aspect about Larry, Frank, and Julia, that whole thing was very crazy. And, like, the Frank and Julia aspect of it almost kind of reminded me of, like, a demented horror S&M version of, like, Bonnie and Clyde. Like, we're in this together, you bring back people, we kill them, and then we're getting the fuck out of here. We're blowing this popsicle stand, and we're going to go have a better life somewhere together. Anyway. He's just a psychopath. He kills you, doesn't care. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know.
At the end of the day, it's about him.
What, didn't he kill Julia? Do we know that?
Yeah, at the end.
But she's holding the box with hooks in her.
True.
So is it her? Does she get killed?
She's holding the box.
She's holding the box, and Kirsty takes it from her.
Yeah, well, she's in a bed, like hooked in when she's holding the box,
and she's got hooks in her. So it actually looks like the Cenobites took her. So that leads into the second movie.
Second one,
and that's how she comes back out to life. And Kirsty's freaking out about the mattress.
That's true.
And she's like, Julia will come back. Yeah. And this doctor's like, I already fucking know. I've been feeding her for 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that.
I haven't seen the second one.
I haven't seen the second one in a long time. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I feel
that was also almost 30 years old. Sorry, guys.
This movie.
No, this is not spoilers. You're fine.
This movie is just such
unique.
I think such a window into the demented mind of Clive Barker.
Yeah.
And just some of the crazy shit that he thinks.
Because nobody does this. Like, this is a strictly Clive Barker type of thing.
Just the effects alone. Like, I guess that's why when we started talking about like what we could talk about, I was like, well, I want to go like horror. Like, I want something that's like just like asinine.
Yeah.
And Hellraiser's that. Like, it just looks crazy.
It's
like
such a bizarre
there is no doubt about this. This is a horror movie.
And that was that was one of the movies. Like, I'm the youngest of 4, and my siblings are not substantially older, but they're older, and they would always let me watch whatever they were watching. I watched everything under the sun with them, and this was one of the movies they just like didn't let me watch. Yeah. They're like, meh, no.
No, you probably shouldn't watch this.
My dad is a huge horror movie fan, and he let me watch a bunch of shit probably way too early, and I feel like this was not one he would ever let me within.
It was too sexualized. You can't let a kid watch
this is a very disturbing movie when you like really watch it as an adult and try and like take everything in. Yeah, this is keep your kids away.
Yeah.
Keep your children away from this movie.
Julia
for sure.
and
No
Frank
need
alone.
for that. This is an adults only.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
what else you got?
What would you say is your favorite scene, Michael?
We
talked about it already, but maybe not.
I was a big fan of when Kirsty gets the box and she goes into what's, I guess, the dimension where the Cenobites are from, and she gets chased by that giant fucking monster through the hallways. Yeah. That was crazy.
I think they call him the
engineer.
Yeah.
Right, I thought so too, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a weird title for him. He looks like a giant scorpion.
I was going to say, he's like an upside down, like weird guy.
He looks like one of those silverfish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's gross little things.
Yeah, I loved that part. I thought that was a really cool looking monster effect, and we all know that Mike loves some monsters.
Mike loves
#
monsters.
Mike's monsters. I was also, obviously, I feel like anytime Pinhead is on the screen, he kind of owns whatever scene he's in. He's just great. So those were my personal favorites.
Interesting thing, though, is Barker had to fight the studio to have an intelligent monster. Because they were like, well, he should make jokes like Freddy, because Freddy just come out, or he should be completely quiet like Michael.
That wouldn't have worked.
And he's like, no, he's an intelligent. He's like, I like Hannibal Lecter because he's an intelligent monster.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why he fought for him to be
that would have been weird. I don't think that would have worked.
If it was just making weird jokes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so I guess those were my favorites. What about you guys?
What's your favorite scene?
I really liked the mattress scene that we already talked about.
The mattress scene,
because I think that one scene where they're just back and forth, like from flashing forward and like we talked about this before we started podcasting. Me and Andrew were outside having a conversation. I was like, So the one part that I get like really confused about is the flashing back and flashing forward, and I was like, is she really having sex with someone else while he's moving the mattress downstairs? Like,
no, that is a memory.
Ballsy. Like, I mean, is that really happening?
Yes,
and
I'm
he's
like, no.
I was
what are
like,
you talking
okay,
about?
but it just seems like the way that they shot it, it seems like that's happening while he's moving them. I
In
mean,
her
I
head,
get it. I know because he's dead.
She's
he's
looking
in the
at
attic, and he's
his
like,
picture. She literally ripped off the.
Right. No.
This is such a weird scene.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, Frank.
But I was like, it just happens at the same time, and it's going back and forth, and it's such like a back and forth intense scene, and I was just like,
you didn't understand.
Is that happening right now?
They are literally.
I thought you were going to
trying
say
to bring a mattress up, and they're in the attic having sex.
Right, and I'm like,
when you said the
really?
mattress scene, I thought you were going to say when Frank is like still half formed and he comes out of the closet and he's going to kill Larry while they're in bed.
Oh yeah,
like,
that too.
Yeah.
trying to, and she's just like, no, and then
Just
he's
in
like,
general,
he's
whenever
like, what's the matter with you? Damn.
Yeah.
He's like,
gonna
just
say
him
that.
being half like a person is gross
Yeah.
all the
Those
time.
effects are
Yeah.
chef's kiss.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so good.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
That's why my favorite scene is like the first when when he cuts his hand and he's up in the attic and he starts dripping blood, and then his brother just starts being reborn again. So gross.
Yeah.
And like,
That is nasty.
It's such a good scene though, and the music playing over is so good too. Very nice music in that movie.
So
such a Clive Barker score
The-
because it's very similar to Nightbreed and Books of Blood, and I'm rustling papers. But
So the gore in this movie, I remember when I saw it, grossed me out to the point. So, and you guys, I'm sure you guys probably have at some point, but you seen the David Cronenberg Fly remake with Jeff Goldblum?
yeah,
I haven't seen the remake.
The practical effects in that movie are so disgusting. And this is the first movie that, upon rewatching it, I was like, okay, this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. It's pretty gross. Some pretty gross stuff.
I
No?
totally heard you the wrong way, and I heard just remake first, and then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
I've seen that
Yes,
Fly.
of course. Yeah. I was saying, I would have thought that would
No,
for sure
I've
have been a
seen that.
movie.
Yes, it reminds me of that a lot.
Yeah, that's a gross fucking movie. But yeah. So great A+ in the special effects and the practical effects. I think
so too. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite scene?
Honestly, it's the one with Frank being reborn, and when you see the blood like spill under the floorboards, and they start to shake. It's just like
It's so weird. It's so
but
good.
it's like
Yeah.
such a little casual like jab at the spookies. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, what's going on here? And then you just see that like weird stringy dried up heart start to fill with blood.
yeah,
It's so
cool.
unique way of doing it too, though, because like I'm like looking at him and go, "This is so good." Like it, there's something about the way it's shot that is beautiful. Like it's perfect. Like I don't need CGI. I want that. Like,
Yeah.
that's
for sure.
That's so much better.
That's the
The
biggest problem with
CGI,
half of the movies in general, in horror movies these days. There's just too much reliance on CGI.
Yeah,
That's like what I say
Sometimes
when I
less
say
is
it's
more.
Huluized.
Well, it starts looking not realistic.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I know it looks more real with
Like less.
Yeah.
I expect it to look like pie crust that's crumbling apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like at the end when like the whole house is like coming down on them and there's just clearly glitter being dumped on their
Well, I think there's something to be
That's all
said
glitter.
too
So
about
romantic.
when there's actually something tangible like being filmed where the actor can
Yeah.
react to it as opposed to it just being all
Yeah, it's
computer
gotta be so
generated
hard to
after
act
the
that
fact,
way,
The
yeah.
finger touching on the mouth with that slimy hand.
Oh yeah,
So gross.
It's like,
yeah,
The movie just gives you the willies.
yeah. That's a good way to
Willies.
describe
I like
it.
the.
Like you need a nice shower after this
Willies,
movie
yeah.
for sure.
Gives you that weird, creepy willies
Yeah.
feeling. I don't know.
Yeah.
What we got next? MVP.
MVP, I guess that's I don't know.
deaths?
MVP could be up for interpretation. You go. Your choice.
Oh, my turn. Oh,
Nail
I
it.
like Pinhead. Just because I like.
Seems
Pinhead.
like a basic answer.
Yeah, it's a basic
I like
answer.
it though. It's solid.
I like his makeup.
I'm just
His
messing
makeup's
with
awesome. I mean, he's my MVP. He might not be the MVP of the movie, we'll say, but
Well, that was the question.
he's my MVP.
MVP of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be Kirsty. She found a way
Yeah.
around the rules of the
Yeah.
Cenobites, right? Technically.
Yeah,
She's the reason there's another movie.
Yeah, and also MVP in that one because she's fine at the end. Just kidding.
She's the final girl.
Yeah. Nothing happened.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off the board here, and I'm gonna say that overall, when you think of this movie, obviously you think of Pinhead, but that's already been said. I think this is a big win for Clive Barker. This is kind of what kind of launched him into the trajectory that he's on now. He wrote the short story, wrote the screenplay, directed the movie. He kicked ass on all levels.
I thought you would go with the homeless guy who turns into the dragon.
I was gonna. I thought that would be. I thought people might be like, that's a little weird that you said that.
He's
but
an underlying player throughout the whole movie.
Loved it. And the first time I saw the movie with that ending, I was like, holy shit, that's some crazy stuff. And you know what it reminded me of? Have any of you guys seen the Tales from the Dark Side movie before?
Which one? Well, which segment?
The best one.
Is it the one where it's in the crate?
No, that's Creepshow.
No, the one with Buscemi? Isn't that Tales from the Dark Side?
No. So not that one. It's not that one.
What's that one?
But basically, there is I forget what it's called, or there's somebody in it. Christian Slater's in that movie too. But there's a segment in Tales from the Dark Side where a guy sees like a winged gargoyle type creature like that at the end of this movie. And basically, there's the demon tells him, you can never speak of this again and you'll live a happy, fulfilled life. He meets the woman of his dreams 15 years later,
and it's the
falls
monster.
in love, and he says, I love you so much, I have to tell you about this crazy thing that happened to me so long ago. And he tells her what happened. I saw this demon, and it turns out the fucking woman that he's in love with is the demon, turns into the demon, looks just a lot like that monster, and then flies off. It was an awesome twist ending, so... I mean,
that is a great
old movie.
Underrated.
Spoiler alert!
Oh, that's so good.
It reminded me a lot of that. That was a little twist at the end that I was not expecting the first time I saw this way back. So, but yeah, that's a good character as well. The homeless guy that just kind of eats crickets. And,
I felt that as a retail worker.
Oh, I was gonna say. So, God, great. I'm glad you brought that up.
That whole scene was just like, I relate.
Poor Kirsty in that pet store, for Christ's sake, with fucking old Karen in there with her birdcage. I want to speak to a manager. Well, they're on lunch.
Yeah.
I want to speak to somebody in charge. Maybe you didn't hear me. They're on lunch.
Oh my God.
I also worked retail for a very long time, so I can relate to that. So she's dealing with this asshole with her bird in a cage, and then she walks over, and this homeless weirdo's eating fucking crickets out of the tank.
And the
like,
kid tapping on the snake cage.
Tapping on the snake cage. Like, God, what a nightmare scenario to be working in. Yeah.
I felt that.
All good points. All good points.
So my MVP, because we haven't gotten to that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your MVP. Go ahead, Andrew.
Julia.
Julia Child?
No, Julia.
Julia.
Julia. She's like, without her, nothing happens.
Correct.
You need her. She is fluid throughout the movie. She's involved in most good situations, bad situations, the best situations where people are dying. So good. She literally manipulates everyone so that she has to sacrifice these people. So she can't just sacrifice someone.
Yeah.
Unless it's some horny dude that she's just like, hey, want to come up to my attic? And he's like, yeah, take off your pants and you're dead. Yeah. Because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call. She essentially drives the plot of the movie.
Without her, that movie doesn't exist. She is the central character intertwined with every relationship throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Basically, right? Kind of.
She looks so 80s.
Yeah.
She's so 80s.
So 80s.
So 80s.
Mm-hmm. Like, she's just like...
Yeah.
There's so much 80s.
80s
bullshit in this movie.
So British.
Her hair, and then what's
the
Kirsty's...
eye makeup, yes. The eye makeup is like from the lid all the way up to the brow.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it's like, is that Cyndi Lauper?
Yeah.
What's Kirsty's boyfriend's name?
I don't remember. He's like irrelevant.
When he comes into the house to help Kirsty at the end of the movie, that fucking shirt that he's wearing, oh my God, is that an 80s shirt? Very nice.
Well, the other thing too with that movie too is like in one of the first scenes, Julia's walking upstairs to the attic when they first move in there, and she walks in, opens the door, and the door shuts behind her.
Oh, there's a lot of
and
weird
she
stuff
doesn't,
like that.
but she doesn't even like recognize that happened. She's just like.
She's drawn to it.
She's like, somebody's up my booze up here. And I'm like, no.
She's drawn to the energy.
Yeah, she just doesn't care. Doors shutting behind her. There's a lot of weird stuff. That's the thing about Barker movies is like there's a lot of stuff that happens and you just go, ugh.
Yeah.
Weird. And I'm comfortable by that. But
how off-putting of this.
That's why it's so good.
I know.
It's so British in every way. Clive.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, who doesn't like Clive Barker? You've never seen Nightbreed?
A long time ago. I would need to rewatch it. I don't remember a lot about it.
That movie's so good.
Yeah.
The serial killer in that movie. I can't wait for that to be a show.
Like the Clive Barker shit I remember. I remember Midnight Meat Train because of Vinnie Jones and Bradley Cooper.
That's actually when that was on IFC in the dark or whatever it was.
Yep. I remember Rawhead Rex because I remember the monster from it. I remember Candyman, obviously.
Candyman, I think, So here's my real question, because I think it comes down to two. Hellraiser or Candyman? Which one's better?
Ooh. Oh.
Hellraiser.
I think it's Candyman. I think Candyman's better. Tony Todd's way better, but I don't know.
It's very close.
I don't know.
It's my personal preference.
You never seen Candyman?
I don't think I have. Not the original.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's...
Clive Barker movies are so weird.
Yeah.
Everything he does is weird.
Well, aren't they? They're coming out with a new Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. We were talking about that
I'm super
before.
stoked for, but the Candyman, like, I don't know. There's something about it that's so like.
I just remember
more
being very creeped out by Hellraiser. Hellraiser affected me more, even though I have a paralyzing fear of bees and stinging winged insects, which was the scariest part about Candyman for me.
Or the fact that those bees are coming out of some guy's mouth.
That too.
That's
kind of obviously. Yes.
It's like Winnie the Pooh when he eats all the bees at the honey pot.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. Hey.
No, I agree. So you said Candyman?
No, I hadn't seen Candyman.
You didn't say. So you have no. What did you say?
I didn't say.
It's tough.
Because to me, I don't know. They're both. There's a lot.
Well, they're different, right?
Yeah.
Are they really the same to compare?
Well, it's just two movies.
It's just two Clive Barker.
Written by Clive
Barker. Those are his two biggest movies.
Yeah.
That's so hard.
And they're both so good.
Candyman, I think, is easier to understand.
It's very simple.
Yeah. It's like pretty straightforward.
Hellraiser's so
Candyman
bizarre.
definitely scared me more as a child because I didn't want to do the thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. To call him.
Yeah.
But you did, and then
but the
visual,
like
the visual of Pinhead, like I didn't get to see that movie when I was little, so there was a lot of like interest and intrigue. But like just seeing those covers in Blockbuster was like scary.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really obscure and off the beaten path. But have you ever seen
I like your Blockbuster.
Time Bandits?
Thank you. Time Bandits?
Yes, a long time ago. Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while for me.
I know.
Too.
It's like the little people. It's the Monty Python.
Yeah, you and your brother love this movie. I know. Yeah.
The for some reason the villain in Time Bandits reminds me of Pinhead. The way he talks, like he's basically like
I can see that
the devil.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I just when I seen it, every time I think about the other guy.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Fair enough.
But
fair enough.
Irrelevant.
Continue. You're driving the bus, bro.
One bus is
that,
running out of gas. Where is the gas? I got
Let's
MVP favorite.
One quick
scene.
stop.
You did that already.
So one thing that I had seen, and I don't know how. I can visualize it. I just don't know how you can put it into a place where they're going to be teenagers and maybe people as young as 13.
Oh, as a haunted attraction.
Yeah, so I could see this being a very scary and disturbing haunted house type thing because we love haunted attractions. We always talk about that type of stuff. So Universal it's been heavily rumored for the last few years that they're going to try and turn Hellraiser into a haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights.
Well, it takes place in a house, so
correct.
You can do it.
But this movie is so weird and sexually themed. I don't know how you could put it in a theme park.
Would skip
you
sex.
could just get out.
Yeah.
You could do this movie without sex. You don't need that.
Yeah, you just Pinhead.
Yeah.
He's enough.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so.
Chains with fake hoods.
Yeah, there's monsters. There's lots of gore.
Because I actually think it would be a pretty effective haunted house. I think you could scare the shit out of people with this. But
this would be very terrifying.
Like when I read that Universal had toyed with the idea, I was like, wow, that's not one that I ever would have expected.
That would be pretty scary.
Yeah, but they do it with everything. So
it would make an interesting haunted attraction.
Yeah.
As like a Halloween Horror Nights haunted house in a warehouse kind of thing you walk through. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Pinhead with the box and all the that'd be cool. Yeah, I could see it.
Got anything else, my friend?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Unless Hannah's got anything else, this is her movie.
No, I'm like, what do we? What's
Wait, is this just like any
the whole time.
Yeah, we kind of did that. I just
we
nitpicked
rough notes the whole time.
Yeah.
Best death.
Yeah, best death.
Oh, best death.
It's best death.
What do you think?
Oh, it's Larry at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it has to be, right?
Well, that was very...
Yeah.
It's not going to be one of the randos Julia brings home.
No.
Yeah.
That's definitely the best death.
Yeah.
For sure. Anybody in the cast that you'd replaced? Anyone in the cast that you hated?
I honestly, Julia drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't picture anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And, like, that actress's credit. She's been in some pretty good stuff in recent years. Well, she's done some things in interesting shows, movies recently.
But
nobody really bothered me particularly.
But they kind of, when they bother you like that, they almost make it better. Because then you're like, oh, well, she's really good at making me hate her. Yeah. Like, I really
they were all supposed to be disliked.
Like, very easy to dislike everybody.
Oh my god, Larry.
Larry,
I actually hated Larry.
Yeah.
But mostly because his voice was dubbed.
It'd be cool if Frank was someone else, like Frank before he died.
Oh wait, Frank. It was Frank. Frank's voice was dubbed.
Frank's was the one dubbed.
Yeah.
If Frank was someone else before he died, like who else does he look?
What do you mean somebody else?
Like no, I mean sorry, like
a different actor.
Yes, like a different actor when he's like Frank. When he's at the door.
Oh, when he's like a stud.
When he's like a stud. Like I think that he could be someone else, but I wonder who.
Oh,
like some like
it's got to be from that time period.
Like Sylvester Stallone.
Kurt Russell.
Sylvester Stallone.
Can you see
hey, you're
Rocky?
You see the Sways?
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze?
I like the idea of Kurt Russell.
I'd watch anything that Kurt Russell's in. He's awesome.
He would be, you know what?
Yeah, but why would Kurt Russell ever do that?
Make the edit.
Kurt Russell was in Big Trouble in Little China, and he was also in The Thing, and Escape from New York, Escape from L.A.
Hey, like for 10 minutes.
Well, who else do we know, like, small enough? I'm not going to name a smaller level actor, lower B-list actor from that time. I probably don't even know their name.
I can't think of any.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, like, the most charming British gentleman actor that would be, like, a weird role to play.
It would need to be someone like Colin Firth, like someone like that.
Colin Firth.
Oh, my God, just put Colin Firth in it.
Hugh Grant.
Colin Firth is
he's not really dating. Can you imagine that? Yeah, Hugh Grant.
That would be a Hugh Grant role.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's such an asshole in Bridget Jones.
Deep cut, Bridget Jones.
And then put Bridget Jones in Julia's role?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Because, I mean,
actually,
who doesn't hate...
You know what?
Renee
Zellweger.
It would kind of work.
I like it.
Okay.
I would watch that.
I can see it. I would fucking
And you know what? While we're
at
it, Kirsty should just be Winona Ryder.
Right. Yes. Ooh. Yeah.
The Lydia Dietz action?
Yeah.
Very nice. Cool.
I think that
but she should be in character from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Winona Ryder from Stranger Things.
All off the... No, she should be like, my parents are turning into things. I don't know what's going on. And she's got like... And then she's actually involved.
Well,
they're like, oh, your parents are... Your uncle's been feeding off blood upstairs.
Cool. You guys got any final thoughts on Hellraiser before we put a bow on this bitch?
Enough thoughts on most things.
All right.
I have a final thought.
Okay.
It's mine. My floor.
I would hope so, since it's your thought.
The one thing we didn't mention was Hellraiser, or Pinhead with the box, was also mentioned in one of your favorite movies, Cabin of the Woods.
A not Pinhead, but a Pinhead knockoff.
A Pinhead-ish.
Yeah.
A Cenobite.
Yeah.
There could be more than the Cenobites they showed us.
Yeah, he had like saw blades coming out of his heads and stuff. Yeah, that was a cool little thing.
Yeah, he was.
But that was like one of the many horror references in Cabin in the Woods. They had a version of the puzzle box in the basement, which they didn't ultimately end up choosing.
Right. Someone picked it up though.
Great point.
Yeah,
someone picked it up, but they didn't actually end up selecting that as the monster.
Good job,
that ended up attacking them.
Thanks.
Yeah, very good job.
Thanks.
Hannah, you're our guest. Anything else to say on Hellraiser?
No, I guess if you just watch Hellraiser too, because it's actually I like it better than
the
first one. Yeah.
All right.
I think
fair enough.
It's just a very labyrinthy, very cool. Helps you out with the understanding of the first one.
Yeah. I would say definitely watch this movie. I'd recommend it. And there's going to be a lot more Clive Barker out there, as we've mentioned, including a new Hellraiser TV series that is executive produced by Clive Barker. So now's the time to get on board the train, folks. The Clive Barker Express.
Sorry to ruin your day, guys. We're going to have to do more Clive Barker now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I like it, and you guys are like, damn it.
No, I was fine with this.
Debatable. I don't think either of you like this movie.
I
trust you.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I just like to give you a hard time because you think Halloween isn't a good movie, so...
I didn't say I don't think Halloween is a good movie.
No, you definitely said that.
It's
overrated.
Extremely overrated.
Okay. Well.
But it's a classic.
That's the only horror movie to give me nightmares.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Terrifying movie. Terrifying movie.
And like if I go to a haunted house that have people with blank masks.
Oh, you probably get so
done.
Yeah.
I'm running.
Oh, that's too funny.
All right, folks. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up unless anyone else has anything else to say. this has been another episode of America's Hometown Horror. Thank you so much to our guest, Hanna, from Old Colony Cast.
Thanks
we have
for
had
having
a blast
me.
having you. You are welcome back anytime if there's any movies that you want to talk about. But if you're interested in hearing Old Colony Cast, you can find them on Instagram. You can also listen to their show, which is all over the place, I'm sure, on most of the same listening platforms as we are. And if you're interested in following us on social media, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook. Just search for America's Hometown Horror on YouTube. That's our newest thing. Just hit subscribe, hit that bell to get notified when new episodes come out.
Smash that bell.
Mash that bell, baby. Mash that bell. You can also tweet at us at Hometown Horror. You can find us on Instagram at Hometown Horror Pod. And you can send us an old email massage at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com.
We have an email message from me.
It was from Andrew. Yep.
That's correct.
That's correct.
I emailed.
And you can also find our show
suck.
pretty much anywhere wherever you get your podcast episodes, including Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, and Amazon Prime Music. This has been another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike. Been joined by Andrew and Kat as always, and thanks again to Hanna. Say goodbye to your listeners, folks.
Adios, muchachos.
Bye. Thanks, Hanna. Good job.
Yeah,
Bye. Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and just wanted to say thank you again for listening to another episode of our show, because of course, we would be nothing without you listeners. If you are interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I would highly recommend you check out some shows by our cohorts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. That's right, the Inebriart Podcast Network, folks. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find the Inebriart Podcast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, Retro Redoctopus, and Old Colony Cast. Head on over and give them a listen.